So I'm at F&M, and somebody who used to play a lot of Magic has just come. What?
Nitrogen.
Nigel. I hate it. Somebody who used to play loads of F&M has just come, and they've dropped off.
Can I get her?
All this. Oh yeah. So when I get it back to the office, we'll have a look through it all and check it out. Hello. So I did start trying to film that at F&M. However, obviously people were having a laugh. So somebody who I know, I've known him since high school, came to me. Well, he sent me a message and he said, "Hey, I've got a binder that I want to get rid of old Magic cards." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he was like, basically, he's like, "I'm selling out the game. I don't want to play anymore. You know, I'm not really interested in the game anymore. I just want to get rid of it all." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, cool. That's not a problem." And really? So then, he was like, "Yeah, I'm just going to bring you this binder." So he came into the room that we all play F&M in on a Friday with the binder. And he was like, "Hey, this is it." And then he was like, "Oh, by the way, I've got some more stuff in the boot of my car if you want." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I had a quick flick through this binder. All clocks are there. So I've had a look through. And yeah, some value. So I've gone to his car and he's produced all of these boxes, but not just these boxes, these as well, as I'm sure you saw. And I've left this lid on just to prove a point. This stuff is covered in mould. It's all got like mildew. It's all got a bit of a dusty, rotten smell to it, which is really not good. I'm a bit worried about the condition of the cards. If you see there's kind of like mould spores forming on the edge of that. But it is so full. There's EDH decks, complete EDH decks box. I'm sure many of you will know what that is. There's just so many things. I mean, it's pretty obvious from the Crimson Vow bundle. We are in New Capenna Standard now, so it's pretty obvious that there was some cards bought recently. I think this is also Crimson Vow. Maybe that's something else. Maybe it was a gift box to the collectors. I don't know. Anyway, there's definitely been cards bought reasonably recently, but there's just so many cards. And he was like, "Oh, can you give me like an estimate how much it's going to be?" And I was like, "Honestly, dude," I was like, I could give you a ballpoint figure and just say it's going to be this much right now. I was like, but I've got to mitigate my costs and my risk. You know, I offer 70%. I could say like £300 or £400. It's obviously going to be way more than that here. I was like, you can wait. So we've not come to an agreement yet. We don't know how much it's going to be. There's an awful lot of other TCGs in here that I'm just not familiar with. I think this is even like the Game of Thrones board game. It's got a Baratheon, so definitely. There's so many different things. There's a box of YuGiOh. I have absolutely no clue about YuGiOh. I wouldn't be able to offer value on that. But the guy said he's done with TCGs. He's not interested anymore. And anything that I'm not interested in, I can just sell or throw away. So I have no idea. I mean, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know if any of these are good or not. I know from past experience that I have definitely looked at a YuGiOh card, seen it shining and been like, "Oh my God, that's worth so much money." And then when it's actually come to it, it was worth nothing. A lot of these seem to be in really bad condition as well. So who knows? I certainly don't know if Odd Eyes, Meteor Burst Dragon, I don't know if that's good or not. I have no clue. Obviously the binder's money. Lots of these deck boxes. It was pretty crazy. Some of the guys who had buys at F&M were just opening these boxes and looking through them. And there was so many like mythics and stuff like just strewn amongst other commons. That's obviously the Merfolk versus Goblins dual deck. You know, it's just every box is something new. I think that's just tokens. Cool. Every box is something different. Every box is something new. There's casual EDH decks. Just it's even got a relevant life counter. Fantastic. So there's so many things going up. Do you know what I mean? That's just in a random box. So I don't know how much it's going to be worth total, but I am going to spend some time going through it all and pulling things apart, and I'll have to do an update video because there's no way that I'm going to be able to figure out the approximate value of this stuff, or how much I've bought it for, or how much I've made off it, like, for a very long time now. It's going to be weeks, I'd imagine. But I will keep you updated, and this is a little bit. There's a couple of things to note. Ooh. This has obviously got water damage at some point. It's just a lot of like really messed up lands. It's a bit of a shame. I don't know, I'm gonna have to have a look through. But yeah, I will update you with the Hoard, I guess. Oh, so days later, I finally finished looking through all of this collection. I thought it was pertinent to kind of film a little bit of an update now that we know where we stand with everything. So there's an awful lot of other TCGs here. This is all Force of Will. This is Legend of Five Rings. This is Cardfighter Vanguard. This is probably also Cardfighter Vanguard, which I've not gone through yet. I don't have a clue. This is the not Lord of the Rings. This is that's the Game of Thrones TCG. This also looks like Legend of Five Rings. This is a big bundle of things that I have no idea what I'm looking at quite yet. So it's just kind of to one side. This is the complete Plane Chase anthology. All 4 decks complete. Although there are none of the Plane Chase cards, which is weird. I don't really know what happened to those. But those decks really only command like 20 or 30 pounds each, besides Night of the Ninja, which is about 70 or 80. We've also got Power Hungry, which is one of the original Commander decks with Prosh, which is like 80% complete. And then we've got these 4 Commander decks, which are about 70% complete, and then 100%, 100%, and 100% complete. Obviously, quite a lot of value in the Feline Ferocity and the Vampiric Bloodlust decks, which is pretty cool to have like 5 almost complete Commander decks. We've also got the Commander Anthology, which, as far as I can tell, are, I don't know, I've not really looked through these yet, but I think they're either like 90% complete or like 100% complete. I just need to go through those and verify. I'm probably gonna pick up the missing cards from these, if there are any, and pick up the missing cards from these 2 decks, put them together and sell them as like complete precons. We've also got an awful lot of bulk cards that aren't really worth anything, from as new as like Neo Kamigawa, and as far back as from whenever the guy who some of the collections started playing from, so like 2014, 2013. There's also like a lot of foils and random things that aren't particularly worth anything, but they're just worth putting to one side. And again, there's so many of these. It's just box after box after box. So there's, I don't know, if you assume that a fat pack can maybe hold like 500 cards, we've maybe got like 1,500 bulk there. We've also got like a complete dual deck, which is the Goblins versus Merfolk. So there's the Merfolk side of things, which is complete, but no Goblins. And then also this is the Elspeth versus Cure dual deck, and that is the Cure side. So maybe the guy bought them with a friend, split them, and then didn't end up getting both halves. Maybe they just went half each. Who knows? This is just the value on commons, things to put to one side, kind of box. Nothing too special. Lots of full art lands, which is cool. Unfortunately, in the original video, you saw that there was a completely trashed, I was going to say ETB then, there was a completely trashed fat pack / bundle, or whatever they're called, and that contained lots of cool lands. So they were a bit of a write-off. Fortunately, not many of the full arts were. We also got a big old box of Yu-Gi-Oh, which I didn't know much about up until having to go through this, and then I've actually taught myself a lot about Yu-Gi-Oh, listing these cards. Obviously, these are if you know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, you'll know, these are the reasonably expensive cards, which is weird because I've had Yu-Gi-Oh collections before where somebody gave me a big set of them, and I looked through hundreds and hundreds of cards, and just everything that was shiny and looked amazing was just worth nothing. So a lot of these are trashed. They were all kept unsleeved, so they've all suffered a lot. There's quite a lot of like bulk there, really. But there's some cool cards. I mean, the artwork in Yu-Gi-Oh seems to be amazing, and the names are very, very crazy. Took a lot of getting used to. And finally, which is the main spectacle. This is the value box. This is the box of things that were worth keeping. So if you know anything about Magic and prices and stuff, you're probably aware of the value of some of these cards, which is cool. I am yet to pricing this up to me is because there's been so much stuff to sort through that I haven't really had a chance to like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've not been able to like sit down and say, well, this is this much and this is this much. It's just been a case of like looking through these cards and being like, oh my days, this is worth something, this is worth something. I think this is going to be worth something in the future. Like play sets of Shocklands, sometimes multiple play sets of Shocklands of different art styles. You name it, it's got it. This is a very, very, very like cool little collection to go through. Unfortunately, storage wise, there was a lot of mildew, and it's made me quite ill going through this. I've been like having sneezing fits, and I'm really like susceptible to like dust and stuff like that. I've got a really bad immune system from previous bad experiences with dust and mold and stuff, and it's just like, it's knocked me really ill. Obviously some cards that were very expensive once upon a time that have just been beat down intensely. Can we go through all that looking at it? Some cards I've not even really looked at the value of. I figured Emicle's probably worth something still. I haven't really looked yet. Full art Omnaths, different lands, gambles, whips, lyras, you name it. It's there. Vetoes, tutors, so many different cards to go through. Turn of Peaks, popular in Dragon EDH, full art Triomes, regular art Triomes, fabled passages. We're getting a bit more space. Dryads, which seem to have gone up a disgusting amount recently. I mean, if you know what this is, you know what that is. Oh my days. There's just so many things in here. This is from a person who, I don't have a great deal of experience with them. Somebody I've known for a long time, but in terms of like playing the game, I don't know what their play style is, but I tend to, I can imagine from what little that I know about them, that they are somebody who just opened packs, was never really like chasing value or investing in anything, wasn't interested in that side of the TCG. Sorry, the dust coming off these and the growth, like, they smell like mould, which is not good, which possibly inhibits the price of them a little bit. Obviously, you can see there's like bits of dirt on what would be valuable cards, and because of the storage, and I've put all these sleeves on, so a lot of these cards are damaged, which really inhibits the like total value of the cards. But you know, some stuff from the list that's come out, it's like 20 odd quid, which is cool. So you know, so the guy who had the collection has been somebody who's played standard throughout the last however many years, from Theros 2013 2014 onwards. Got play sets of these cards, you know, all the way through. Took a little bit of a break during lockdown and the COVID pandemic, and then it's just carried on. You know, played an amount of EDH by the looks of it. Picked up things like From the Vault Angels, and little bits of other things like the anthologies that we looked at earlier, like As and When. Obviously got lucky packing a masterpiece during the Kaladesh era. Seemingly, this is only one of like 2 or 3 Modern Horizons 1 rares that I've seen, so I guess wasn't that fussed. There doesn't tend to be a lot of like Masters cards in this collection, so somebody who essentially just played standard and never really sold out and always retained cards, which is cool. Always nice to go through the history, considering that I started playing in 2015, so this is like a very familiar collection to me. There's nothing that I haven't seen before, obviously, because I buy and sell cards, but in terms of going through this collection, like, this is all stuff that was in standard when I started playing and has come out in standard or Modern Horizons or reprint since. So no surprises there, really. Say more and more cool cards. Some cards towards the back here, like, not necessarily valuable, just stuff that I didn't have time to look at, and I was like, well, I definitely know it's probably not worth nothing. I just want to put it to one side to make sure I don't, like, forget about it. So yeah, Really nice little collection. I'm still yet to price it up, which is crazy. I still have to sit down and be like, right, this is how much this is all worth, etc, etc. So we'll figure that out soon. I just wanted to get through sorting it all out and making sure that I knew what was missing out of these decks before I went to try and sell them or price them up. Obviously, like, you know, if this Ninja's Plane Chase deck was missing, Sakashima Student is then obviously worth a lot less than they currently go for, so I just wanted to make sure everything was where it was supposed to be. And that is pretty much it. Amazing little collection. Like I say, it's a shame that it's making me ill going through it. Obviously it wasn't kept or stored in the best condition, and like I say, the cards reflect that, which unfortunately means that when I come to offer the seller a value for it, like, I'm gonna have to take into fact, it seems like there's an awful lot of value here, and of course there is quite a lot of value here, but prices and you know, the price that I can offer to buy them is massively inhibited by the fact that it's making me ill looking through them, and potentially gonna have to air out some of the cards to get rid of a bit of the mildew and the dust that's around them. Other than that, awesome little collection. Really happy. I mean, there's a couple of cards I will no doubt, once I've paid for, siphon off for my own personal collection, just to upgrade a couple of modern decks, especially foilies that you don't see every day. So yeah, tune in next time. So just for record's sake, before we start selling these, because some of these are sold online already, this is everything that I got from that big old collection, minus a couple of cards that I've siphoned off that haven't been listed online yet, that are like specs, or I think are worth keeping hold of for the future. Obviously spent an amount of time going through all this. I was like, yeah. So yeah, I've listed these nearly a week since I got all these, and they've only just gone on the internet. It's taken me an awful long time. But that's life, I guess. That's part of the thing about selling trading cards. And then the YuGiOh, I forgot about the YuGiOh.